Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, all the SMF Street traders and our SMF Street worldwide international traders. One thing is that, once again, as we were put, this is called the ProShares Ultra S&P 500. So when the S&P 500 is going down and breaking down like we did on the other videos, we buy this bear fund and we get to make money. Isn't that wonderful? So here's the thing. We already have positions here, and we're going to be adding more because I did the weekly charts on the S&P 500. And during Saturday's training, we're going to be covering a lot more. And basically what we did was we set up here at this major bottom where we broke out. We had breakout 1, a short double week breakout 2, and we're setting for the third breakout. Now, let me tell you something about breakouts. For all the new traders that are here and all the new people that are in the school is that the third breakout is the one that breaks higher. Okay, and basically being positioned in here like we are, when we did not want to break that major support level right here, that's where we started moving in at the bottom there. And for the new people that are just spectators and standby watchers, go to our home page. Go find it when we were actually doing the live trade. We were doing the trade before the move occurred, meaning that it set up. We could see that we were going higher. We could see that the S&P was going to sell up, and we moved in. And now we get to hold the 16 million shares traded SDS UltraShort S&P 500. It's back above the 10-week. It's above the 20-week. They'll have some near-term resistance right here at that 50-week. But we have a lot of support right there. So basically what we're going to do is we will add to positions accordingly. And that's this particular chart right here on the SDS. Bullish setup. If this gets into a weekly buy signal here, well, we got a lot of room to go higher. And let me show you something. This is where it was in 2009 before we had the big rally. Oh boy, it's got a lot of room to go higher. But let's cap the highs of the 2010 highs. And let's just get a snapshot of these tops right here. This is that last major top. So I'm going to draw a trend line for you. And we're going to make sure that that top is what, when we rallied, we went long here, and slightly we went long just like we are in here. Here's what I want everyone to be aware of. If the 10-week flattens out and starts to roll up, and we get above that 50-week, we're going to have to take out this shorter-term resistance called the SMF Street weekly bar. That's going to be our short-term resistance on the S&P Bear Fund. However, we could easily go through that resistance when the S&P 500 breaks down. This is the S&P 500 here today. If we come down to 1050 on the S&P and we get support, well, then we'll take profits. And we can always go to the S&P 500 Bull Fund and take the opposite trade there when that setup comes. And we'll talk more about it over the weekend. We're looking at adding to this bullish trend setup right here. And we've got lots of things that are looking great. We've got to have 4 weeks above the 10-week to say that this ProShares UltraShort is going to go into a bull trend. So this is only week 1. We have to have 3 more weeks above this blue line here. However, this has got a good enough move. Close at 33.81. They don't move a lot, but the more that the S&P sells off over time, it keeps going higher, and we'll keep breaking higher. Bullish potential breakout, a setup just as we did over here at this double bottom. That's this one right there. And we got that nice trade. Well, here's a double bottom with the buy bar called the SMF Street Qualifier. 3 times the bar versus the last little sell bar. That was a setup. That's where the move was off the bottom. So we're in week number 2, which is a shallow, narrow range week. But here's the wonderful thing about it. The wonderful thing about it is it's all setting up, and we have to have 3 more weeks above that blue line. That's the 10-week moving average. That 20-week is tilting upward mathematically. That's this red line down here, and that price is at 33.04. Write that down, SMF Street. And not only that, that's going to be a good support level to buy off the bottom. It's half of that SMF Street bar. As long as I consolidate above this trend line in the SMF Street weekly bar, that means that the trend is strong and we've got a lot of room to move higher. That's the ProShares S&P 500 short.